Hello and welcome. I'm so glad you're here today. I want to talk about something that every single one of us craves: progress. That sense that you're moving forward, that you're not stuck in the same place you were last month or last year. Now, here's the catch. When most people think of progress, they imagine the big, dramatic milestones: landing the dream job, running the marathon, publishing the book, hitting that big number in your bank account. And yes, those things are amazing. But here's the truth. Most people never reach them. Not because they aren't capable, not because they aren't talented, but because they overlook the real engine of progress. And that's what I want to share with you today. It's not about big leaps, it's about small wins. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I decided I wanted to start running. Now, if you know me, you know I was not born a runner. I was the person who would park as close as possible to the grocery store just to avoid walking an extra 50 steps. But I had this idea in my head. I'll train for a 5K. It seemed like the perfect goal, achievable, inspiring, and something that would make me feel proud. So I did what most people do when they set a new goal. I went all in, bought new running shoes, downloaded a fancy app, even picked a playlist to pump me up. Day one, I set out, full of determination. And guess what? After about 4 minutes, I was dying. My chest was on fire, my legs were screaming, and I thought, how in the world am I ever going to run 3 miles if I can't survive 5 minutes? That night, I sat on the couch, frustrated. Part of me wanted to quit right there. Maybe running just wasn't my thing. But the next day, I made a decision. Instead of trying to run for 30 minutes, I'd just aim for 6. That's it. 6 minutes. No pressure to do more. And the day after, 7, then 8. And slowly, something amazing happened. The 6 became 10. The 10 became 15. And a couple of months later, without even realizing it, I ran my first full 5K. Here's the thing. It wasn't one giant leap that got me there. It was the little wins that stacked up day after day. So, why do small wins matter so much? Psychologists have studied this, and they call it the progress principle. When we see evidence of progress, no matter how small, it fuels us to keep going. Think about it. Why do apps like Duolingo show you streaks? Why do fitness trackers celebrate when you hit 10,000 steps? Why do productivity apps give you little confetti when you check something off? Because our brains love progress. It gives us a hit of dopamine, the same chemical that lights up when you get a like on social media. And the more you experience that, the more motivated you feel to continue. The problem is, most people ignore small wins because they're so focused on the big finish line. They think if they're not running a marathon, the mile they just jog doesn't count. But that's not true. The mile is the progress. It's the bridge to the marathon. Here's where most people get stuck. They set a giant goal. Let's say writing a book. They imagine the end result. Holding that book in their hands, signing copies, maybe even seeing it on a shelf. It's exciting. So they sit down to write. And then, nothing. Because the thought of 200 pages is overwhelming. They write a page or two, then lose momentum, and pretty soon the dream fades. It's not that they can't do it. It's that the goal feels too far away, too heavy. But imagine if, instead of focusing on 200 pages, you said, today I'll just write 3 sentences. That's it. Anybody can do 3 sentences. And tomorrow, 3 more. Some days it'll be more, some days less. But over time, those sentences stack into chapters. And chapters stack into books. Big goals can inspire you, but it's the small wins that actually carry you there. So how do you make small wins work for you? Let's break it down into practical steps. 1. Start ridiculously small. Don't try to conquer the mountain in one day. Want to get stronger? Do 5 push-ups a day? Want to learn guitar? Practice for 5 minutes. Want to meditate? Start with 1 minute. When you lower the bar to something that feels almost laughably easy, you take away the resistance. And here's the magic. Once you start, you often end up doing more. But even if you don't, you've still won. 2. Celebrate every single win. We're so quick to beat ourselves up when we fail, but terrible at celebrating when we succeed. Flip that. Finished a workout? High five yourself. Wrote a paragraph? Smile. Got out of bed on time? That counts too. It may feel silly, but celebration rewires your brain to crave progress. Third, track your streak. Humans are visual creatures. We love to see progress. Get a calendar, a journal, an app, whatever works for you, and mark every day you show up. Pretty soon, you'll have a chain of wins. And when you see that streak, you won't want to break it. 4, focus on process, not results. Results take time. And if you measure yourself only by the finish line, you'll feel like a failure most of the journey. Instead, focus on the process. Did I show up today? Did I do my 5 minutes? That's the real success. 5, reframe setbacks. There will be days you miss. That's life. But here's the key. Don't see it as failure. See it as feedback. One missed day doesn't erase all the progress you've made. Learn from it, adjust, and keep going. The win is in bouncing back. Think about it. The strong body isn't built in one workout. It's built in 1,000 small choices. One healthy meal, one walk, one rep at a time. The thriving relationship isn't created in one grand gesture. It's built in daily moments, listening, showing appreciation, choosing kindness. The successful career isn't launched by one big break. It's built through small acts of preparation, learning, networking, and persistence. Small wins are everywhere. They are the building blocks of every major achievement you've ever admired. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one area of your life, health, relationships, learning, finances, anything, and identify one ridiculously small win you can commit to for the next week. Not a giant goal. Not something overwhelming. Just one small, doable action. Want to read more? 2 pages a night. Want to get fitter? 5 minutes of movement. Want to save money? Put away $1 a day. Want to build confidence? Write down one thing you did well each evening. Do it for a week. Track it. Celebrate it. And watch how those wins start to shift your mindset. Here's the truth. Your life doesn't change because of one huge moment. It changes because of hundreds of small, almost invisible steps that you take every single day. When you stack those wins, day after day, they compound. And before you know it, you're looking around at a life that feels completely different. So stop waiting for the big breakthrough. Stop thinking you have to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Start where you are, with what you have, and just win the next small battle in front of you. Because small wins don't just add up, they multiply. And they turn ordinary people into extraordinary success stories. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If this inspired you, share it with someone who needs the reminder that progress doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to begin.